Silhouettes are powerful. They create shape, draw the eye, and make any character design go from level 0 crook to level 100 boss. Easily. I love drawing with silhouettes, especially when I'm a little stuck or feel like something's a tad bit off with my character design, and it's pretty easy to get the hang of. I'll go into what a silhouette is, what makes a good or bad silhouette, and some simple little techniques that you can start using in your art today. This video is geared towards intermediate artists, not beginner, not advanced, but stick around, I'm sure there's something in this video for everyone. Heck, this could even be used as a silly game, or to spice up your drawing process to clear up any burnout buildup you might be experiencing. Let's get started. I remember when my mom would sit with me and my sister in the laundromat while waiting for our clothes to dry. She would draw these little funny shapes on pieces of paper and we'd have to create something out of it. It was a core memory as a child, and that's where my silhouette technique stemmed from. I'm sure some of you are wondering, what is a silhouette anyway? According to Google, the definition of a silhouette is as follows. As a noun, a dark shape and outline of someone or something visible against a lighter background, especially in dim light. Wait, that's it? Just a fancy word for a shadow of an object? If this definition is so basic, how can it be such an important aspect of art and design? To answer that question, it might be best to dive into a more common aspect of art most of us learn in our first drawing class: outlines and negative space. Google definition slap. As a noun, an outline is a line or set of lines enclosing or indicating the shape of an object in a sketch or a diagram. That was a lot of words. And for negative space, which for some reason Google didn't have a handy dandy dictionary waiting for me, so we'll have to use the definition from interactiondesign.org. Negative space, also white space or white space, is the unmarked areas between and within a design's visual components. So a silhouette is a shadow, an outline is, well, a line encapsulating the shape of an object, and negative space is the blank space around the main components of our canvas. Maybe you're starting to see how these terms tie in with each other to help you make amazing art. If not, keep watching. We talked about what a silhouette is, and you might not be surprised to learn that everything has a silhouette. I mean, if something didn't have a shadow, that'd be pretty darn freaky. But there's a huge difference between a good silhouette and a bad silhouette. I'll keep it short. If make good silhouette, people on internet go, ooh, piece of candy. If silhouette bad, people on internet don't even see piece of candy. Sorry, I just wanted to talk like a caveman for a second. Here's the real distinction. The whole point in creating a good silhouette is this. Is this character recognizable just from the shadow alone? Or does it get mistaken by other characters? And can you identify the character's key features, or are they hard to recognize? Let's go over a quote-unquote bad silhouette. I say quote-unquote because art is subjective and everyone might not agree with me. I didn't draw this at God off Picktree, by the way, but look at it. There's not much going on. There's a lot of straight lines with very little variation. It almost looks like he doesn't have any clothes on. You could probably place any male isekai protagonist in this box and everyone would believe you. This is the type of thing you want to avoid when creating a good silhouette. Psst, hey, want to practice your silhouette techniques? Join my art contest. I want you to create me a brand new VTuber outfit and hairstyle. What do you get in return? Well, whoever wins gets a fully customized chibi VTuber model, and I'll be working with you one-on-one every step of the way. The rules are, it has to be PJ themed, you cannot show any more skin than what my undies show because I'm a modest woman, try to capture a cutesy moon and star whimsical dreamy vibe, and you have to use this template as a base. I will link the information below where you can download it, share your creations on my Discord link below in the art contest channel, or tag your art with hashtag Athalie Draws Outfit Contest. You can make as many as you want, the color palette is up to you, I just want you to have fun. You have until September 31st at 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time to post your submissions, so get to work. Anyway, back to the video. Now here's an example of a quote-unquote good silhouette, or a few. These were also found online, but of course, as you can see, this is the cast of Coraline and the Incredibles. These are very easily identifiable characters, and you can tell from the silhouette immediately who is who. The Incredibles all have similar shape language, very round and squishy, and the Coraline shape language is more triangular in shape. They both coexist very nicely with each other, as well as they're so very different from one another. You can see with the Incredibles that although they have a lot of smooth lines, there's enough of an overall shape that makes them unique. For example, Mr. Incredible is very triangular yet round, very strong and tall with large muscles. On the other hand, Violet, the daughter, is extremely long and lanky with long hair and a slouched posture. On Coraline's side, the overall shapes are even more simple. Very little detail outside of a few simple shapes. However, the overall shape is very exaggerated, with Coraline's family looking almost human and the neighbors almost looking like animals or creatures of some sort with how exaggerated they are. My point is that there is a lot of variation when it comes to quote-unquote good silhouettes, but it's really easy to make it look bad as well. I know it's confusing, bear with me, we'll get there. Here's a post on Twitter by Ariuma. Sorry if I pronounced that name wrong, but they made a very thoughtful post about distinguishing VTuber models based off their silhouettes, and I'll read it to you here. I think it's relevant. So Ariaguma says, "I'm a bit tired of seeing this happening all the time, so I made this to exemplify why people sometimes justly compare designs to others. Value, colors, details are lesser in the hierarchy, in my opinion. They dictate what's within the bigger frame, silhouette." This is very well worded. And then if we look at the actual photo that they created, the design that they created, you can see where the bad distinction example, they say the overall silhouette, shape, language, and placement of important features are exactly the same. Small details don't make up for the bigger picture on what constitutes as a memorable design. Very, very, very well worded. This is why I wanted to include this in the video. Now with the good distinction, they say, despite having the same design, the motifs are virtually different. Small details don't matter because you can tell both subjects apart by their unique style and shape language. Now, shape language is thrown around a lot in this video. I'll dive into that a little bit more in a different video, but just to imagine shape language as the basic shapes that make up a character. That's the easiest way I can explain it. I highly recommend thinking about this before creating your character. I don't want you to freak out in fear that someone has the same silhouette as you, but also do your research on characters you're thinking about so you can avoid essentially copying those around you. I do want to say that it's extremely difficult to create a carbon copy silhouette as someone else unless you accidentally or intentionally get a little too inspired by them. So don't worry about it too much. I could go even further into this, such as using poses as a discussion topic, like people using the same poses from Pinterest as other artists, but that's not really the point of this video. You can use the exact same pose as someone else on the internet and get a completely different silhouette, so yeah, that's pretty much it on that. But why focus on silhouettes at all? Drawing in silhouettes is beneficial because it gives you a new outlook on where your drawing is going. It also helps to make sure your artwork is instantly pleasing to the eye after a quick glance. It helps your art stand out on, let's say, your Instagram feed, for example. Silhouettes also help tell a story about who your character is and how their backstory literally shaped them. The overall shape can emphasize their profession, personality, gender, and so on. At this point, you might be wondering how to improve your own character silhouette, and the first piece of advice I'm going to give you is small, medium, and large theory. You know the small, medium, and large theory, right? It's a somewhat popular technique with especially cartoon artists or anime artists, where 1/3 of the character is small, medium, or large. It's a super easy way to add a dynamic twist to your character design, and it can be utilized in countless ways. Definitely not mandatory to make an amazing character, but it's a super easy trick to do, so why not give it a try? Another thing that makes silhouettes really pop is detail. Hair strands here and there, little charms or chains, wrinkles in clothing, or flowy dresses, they all can add substance to your silhouette, luring in the viewer as they ask for more. This can be added to the big, medium, and small theory as well. Oh, and don't forget about transparency. I haven't seen it used very much, or maybe I live under a rock, but adding transparency or sheer to certain fabrics, further outlining the body underneath, can really help make that bland silhouette turn into a jaw dropper. Remember when I talked about negative space? That plays a part here. Adding negative space to your silhouette can add so many aura points to your character design. See what I did there? Aura points.
How do you do, fellow kids?
I've noticed the easiest thing to incorporate in improving your silhouette is utilizing the big, medium, small theory, adding negative space, and adding little details here and there. Those little 3 tips will surely add some pizzazz to your character design. Don't forget that not every character is going to be insanely detailed as a VTuber model or as simple as a cartoon series. This is your character after all. It all depends on what you're going to use it for. Tons of details might slow you down, but if you go too simple, your character's silhouette may bore your audience. An example I like to put is my own VTuber model. She has a much more simple silhouette because she was originally intended for quick, snappy animations for shorts and comics because I didn't want to spend hours on a drawing when it could have taken 30 minutes and still fulfill the purpose I wanted out of it. However, she still turned out great as a VTuber model, even though she's still a little simple. Maybe not after I get that outfit contest done. I'm probably not gonna look too simple after that. This video has honestly been asked for since I did my AI redraw video last year. I utilized my silhouette technique then, which I can't really call mine. I don't know if I'm the creator of it. I just know I came up with it on my own a few years ago and it was inspired by my mom. But when I say this video was asked for, it was more or less begged for, and I didn't really know how to turn it into a full video. For me, it was just draw blob, make details, add holes in blob, done. I've never been good at breaking things down into easily digestible pieces so people can actually learn from me, but it's something I wanted to start figuring out how to do because I'm tired of sounding like a know-it-all and a smooth brain at the same time. I want to actually be useful to you, so this is what y'all asked for. Let's go ahead and get into my process on how I use silhouettes in my own drawings. I've got two techniques for you. So when I'm really stuck on what to draw, or I'm drawing based on a reference like fan art or redrawing one of your beautiful OCs, I need to start up that series again, I do the blob before sketch method. I'm pulling these names out of my butt. I hope they don't sound weird. Basically, I'm sculpting a shape before I even think about what's sitting inside it. The game I played with my mama that I talked about in the beginning of the video, yeah, this is where it stems from. This technique can be super useful if you're feeling a bit burnt out or have a bad case of art block and want to kick your creative juices in gear. This is also useful when doing commission work, fan art, or redraws, when you need to base your art off of a reference and don't want to spend a crazy long time getting the proportions right by sketching alone. This technique doesn't work very well if you're more of a beginner artist though, especially if you aren't confident in anatomy. I'm not stopping you. If you want to try, go for it, but it might be more difficult if you aren't as confident with the structure of the human body or whatever you're drawing. Just keep that in mind, but that's up to you. I'm not telling you what to do. The second technique is one I use a lot more often than the first. This is the check your work blob. I'm calling that as of right now. This is really just to make sure your silhouette is as poppin' as you want it to be. Gosh, I'm lame. So if your sketch or whatever stage you're in, drawing process wise, looks a bit off, use the fancy schmancy lasso tool, or actually you can use the lasso tool, but I like using the magic wand tool a little bit more because it's faster, especially in Clip Studio Paint. Just depends on your process. We just want to isolate the outer shape of the actual drawing. And then what you'll do once you get that selection, you'll create a new layer and then use the bucket tool and plop in some black on a new layer. Don't do it on your sketch later. And then remove the previous layers and look at just the shadow of that silhouette alone that you just made. Does it look weird? How about when you invert the canvas? That one's a good one. Are there enough gaps, negative space, big, medium, and small theory going on? Is it leaning? If there's something off, for me at least, there's always something off when I try this trick. All you have to do is draw on the actual silhouette itself. Don't think about the sketch layer or the line art knit layer or anything like that. Just color in the blob and make it look better. That's all you have to worry about right now is the silhouette. Once the silhouette looks good to me, I'll lower the opacity of the silhouette layer and turn on my sketch again. Then I'll adjust based off of the silhouette until it starts to look a lot better. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this. I hope this video helped you incorporate silhouettes into your art. Don't forget about that outfit contest also. I can't wait to create that. I really can't wait to create that chibi model for you if you win. Like, I'm actually so excited to try making a chibi model. Like, I'm seriously. But if you like this video and you want to see more, click on this video right here. Is this it? For now, I want to wish you the best of luck in your drawing journey. Bye-bye. My goodness, that was violent.